Hey, I want to do some training with the ministry team, Mountain Vista Community Church, as well as anybody else that's needing some encouragement. It is my job as a pastor, it's our job as a church to be equipping the saints for the work of ministry, which means that the pastors aren't called to do the ministry. We're called to equip the saints. And who are the saints? It's all the believers of the church who are in a relationship with Jesus Christ and have him in their hearts and are wanting to honor and please him. You are called to ministry, and it's my job to help you feel equipped and supported in that. Today I want to ask you a question. Do you have hurry addiction? That might sound funny to you. I read about this idea of hurry addiction, first of all, from a guy named John Ortberg, who's written a lot of books, and he wrote about this in one of his books called The Life You've Always Wanted, and it's some spiritual disciplines. And one of those spiritual disciplines that he talks about, it's not typical of what you might expect, is that we should eliminate the addiction we have to hurry, because as Americans we are addicted to having to always be getting to places and doing things as fast as possible. And then he pointed out some illustrations that made me think, oh yeah, that's what I do. For instance, we get in line at a grocery store and we notice all of a sudden that our line isn't moving, but the other lines are moving, and we get mad at ourselves because we didn't get into one of those lines that are moving faster. Or we get the same thing happens on the freeway where we're trying to figure out which lane is moving quicker, and we're always trying to think about trying to be faster and quicker and making the better decision so I can save 5 seconds here, 10 seconds there, a minute here. And of course, sometimes we do this in ways that are unsafe, unwise, things that get us all upset or maybe make other people upset. It certainly isn't honoring to God, and it certainly gets our minds distracted from where they should be. We're thinking about these kind of things, these kind of petty, worldly things, rather than having our minds centered on stuff that God would rather us thinking about and praying about. Let me give you a biblical example of when this was happening. It's Mary and Martha. You may be familiar with the story. Let me read it for you in Luke chapter 10, and we can be reminded about the priority here of not hurrying too much. It says in chapter 10, verse 38, as Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said, but Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me." "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered, "you are worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." Jesus is getting their perspective in the right spot. That Martha should not be so worried about all of these tasks, and particularly about having to hurry to do all these tasks. In fact, Jesus is saying these tasks might be important, and Jesus doesn't in any way downplay the importance of hospitality and hard work. I mean, these are things we learn from the Bible. We need to be hard workers, but there's also times we need to stop being so worried and having to hurry and hurry and hurry and hurry. And that's what he's telling her. You know, the job will still be there. All the work will still be there. I'm not going to be here forever. Why don't you come and hang out with me and with Mary and enjoy this little bit of time together? So Jesus is helping her see that there's so many times where you and I need to be reminded that life's not about just tasks and responsibilities and goals and earning more money and trying to get that next raise, that next promotion, trying to get more for our families. There's always more that we're striving for, and hurry to get there. But in 2022, would you pray with me? I'm going to be doing this more and talking some of our other training about eliminating this addiction to hurry in our life so that we can give room to God to work in our lives and to focus on the more spiritual parts of our life. And as a church too, we have some institutional side of things and policies and programs and things that we're trying to do, but that should never distract us from making disciples and growing spiritually and making sure our families and our marriages are healthy and honoring to God. Let's keep that priority. Let's stop being addicted to hurry. Will you do that with me? Will you explore this with me and grow with me? And let's have a great 2022.